Tropical depression Fred, a little bit stronger, at least in terms of the winds. However, right now the Hurricane Center said they're leaving the winds at 35 miles an hour, which keeps it as a depression. But as I mentioned at the top of the hour, the center of circulation is kind of been disrupted because as we were looking at all day today, the center was really exposed from any of the main thunderstorms. Well, now the main thunderstorms have almost started to develop their own center, and that appears to be where the center is at the moment. So that's why we've seen a little bit of a spread in some of the computer models I'll show you in a second, because it's almost as though what has happened before with Fred when it was a tropical storm has almost been erased. We're almost starting back at square one as if this was a developing storm. So it's trying to get its act together, and so the computer models are having a somewhat difficult time with it. However, it really has not changed the thinking from the Hurricane Center, basically looking at around the central panhandle of Florida for a landfall. And there hasn't been a dramatic shift in the models either. Yes, there is a little bit of a spread here, mainly because one, it's moving so slow, and it's going to have a tough time over the course of the day tomorrow to really get better organized. However, as it does make that turn more toward, notice a lot of the models have it even closer to the west coast of Florida, but still moving inland. So the model, or the Hurricane Center, did shift their track a little bit more to the east, which means away from us. The thinking, though, has not changed. A break in the ridge is allowing Fred, or will allow Fred, to start making that turn toward the north. But in the near future, it's going to have a tough time as wind shear is moving right over the path Fred is about to take. And that wind shear may not really let up until it gets into the Gulf, but even the model now is indicating that that wind shear may stay on the high side up to the point of landfall. Elsewhere in the tropics, we have Invest 95, a high chance of developing in the next couple of days. Certainly looks fairly impressive. Wait to see if the hurricane hunters do decide to go out in it. They'd have to find some kind of low-level circulation. The thinking right now, though, and again, this is so far out, it's going to be basically moving due west. A lot of the models, though, are keeping it maybe a little more north of where Fred was, and perhaps making a turn much sooner than Fred is. If that upper ridge can break down, perhaps we will see what potentially could become Grace kind of following behind it, but staying out of the Gulf. So let's hope that is the case.